Word this. All right, Jack. So you've been in the program for a little over a month now, and you've been absolutely crushing it. So, first thing I wanted to ask you, like, can you just break down everything you have going on between football, work, travel ball, and then just like life in general?
Yeah, so I do football Monday, Wednesday, Thursday in the mornings at 6 a.m. before work. And then usually I'm 9 to 4, but I'm half day this week for work. And then I have baseball nights Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I have games throughout the week along with football practice Tuesdays and Sunday nights.
Yeah, so you're absolutely slammed, being a multi-sport athlete and working a job on top of that, which is pretty awesome. And then like with all that going on though, like why is baseball training still something that you make time for?
Yeah, I would just say that like my whole life I've loved baseball, I've loved pitching. And I think like this is the year where I have to make it a priority of mine to get bigger, get faster, all of that. So yeah, that's what I would say for that.
Awesome. Yeah, 100%, dude. This is a huge year for you. And obviously you're off to a really good start. So, like a lot of, and I'm sure, like I said, a lot of kids probably like this, but
Mhm.
a lot of athletes don't, they tell me they don't have the time to train. Like, what would you say to someone like that?
Um, I would just say like try your hardest to make the time. Like obviously if you get burned out, you can't do anything about that. But if you're just putting it off, doing other things like that are pleasure for you, like that's just not what you should be doing. And you should, if you're in this program, you should be taking it seriously. So that's what I would say for people who want to come in.
Yeah, 100%, dude. And like you mentioned something about burnout, and that's a real thing for sure. It's human nature, like when you have a lot going on, and then like at first when you had, all of these things laid out for you, was it tough balancing everything from the jump? And then what kind of helped you like lock in your schedule?
Yeah, I would say like the first 2 weeks, it was tough to just get in a routine, which is what I expected. And then I got on track. And then when I started working, it got tougher again because I didn't have as much time during the day. But I just found that like going later at night or like going early in the morning, like I feel like that's more, it made it more easy for me than trying to fit all in during the day.
Yeah. So essentially what you're saying is like you laid your day out in front of you and then you just found a block of time later in the day that worked for you to be able to get all of the baseball training in.
Yeah, like just fit it in wherever I could. It would change a lot during the day depending on what I had, but yeah, that's basically what my focus was.
Yeah, 100%. And like you mentioned focus too, like focus on baseball obviously, but like what does baseball mean to you right now and why is that something that you're still chasing even with all the other things, pulling on your time?
hmm Um, as I said, I think baseball has been one of, not the most important thing, throughout my whole childhood. Like my best friends, they're all from baseball. Um, and baseball is something that I want to be better at, and I'm willing to work for that no matter what time of day I have or how much I put into it.
Absolutely, dude. And that's why you're, getting the results you are because it's like it's tough, man. Like, I was in high school once too. And it's like, I worked a job. I didn't play multiple sports, but it's like I worked a job, I had other stuff going on. And, you know, when you have a situation like that, it really shows you like how much the game means to you. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Yeah, exactly.
And like, how does it feel knowing that you're stacking all of these things like football, work, and training while a lot of other guys are saying they're too busy?
It just means that like for me, it's just consistency. Like that's always been my biggest thing, that I have lacked. So like this summer, I've been trying to like keep up and keep working at it. And I would say to people that don't, I would just like rethink what you're going for and what you're paying for because if you're not going to do it, it's not worth it.
Dude, 1000%. 1000%. And like with the training you've done so far, like in this program, how has that kind of impacted your game and or confidence on the mound?
hmm Yeah, I would say just like putting in work consistently creates more of like a thing in the back of my head, like confidence. Um, and since I've started working with you, the two outings I've had were very good. And hopefully we can keep going. But I would just say like confidence wise and like mentality, like that's always huge for a pitcher, and that's what this has been bringing me.
Yeah, 100%. So it's like you're saying essentially that because you have a plan and you have all these things in place and like you're putting all of this work in, it brings more confidence to you when you're on the mound because you know you've been doing the work.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense, dude.
Like just not being unsure of what I'm doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, did you feel unsure before?
Yeah, like during the season, like I was pitching on varsity this year, like bigger kids would come up and I'd just be like pitching around the zone, like not attacking. And then like now I'm just attacking no matter who it is. Like if they hit it, they hit it.
Hell yeah, dude. I love that. That's awesome. Um, but like going more towards on the style of training, like the remote side of things. Do you feel
Mhm.
like remote training has made it easier for you to stay consistent even with the schedule you have right now?
Yeah, I think like trying to like get I've never done it, but like going to a place like to train, obviously it's a lot more expensive, but like for like the aspect of like getting the nutrition in, like they don't do all that for that. Or like the running, like it's a lot of overlooked things that this doesn't really overlook, is what I would say.
Yeah, 100%, dude. And then just to like cap it off, what would you say to an athlete who is maybe in the shoes that like you were before joining,
Mm.
who's maybe on the fence about joining, but says he doesn't think he has time?
Yeah. Um, I would say if it's important to you, just go for it. Like if you're gonna do it, just you have to do it all the way. Like you can't mess around and just not do what you're supposed to do every day. It's just you got to do it.
Yeah, 100%. And like you said something really valuable about if you're gonna do it, you have to go all in. Like,
Mhm.
would you say that if you maybe do some aspects of the program and skimp out on the other, things that are in place that you won't get better?
No, I think you'll get better, but I think that like you won't get the maximum amount of this program if you don't do them all. Like if you do one, if you do just the throwing or just the lifting or just the eating, like obviously you're still gonna get results, but they're not gonna be what they could be if you do all three.
Yeah, 1000%, dude. 1000%. But yeah, like that was so valuable. And like, I hope any athlete listening to this or parent listening to this can truly get an understanding of like, if it's important to you, like you said, Jack, then you're gonna find the time. It doesn't matter if you have all these other things in place. Like, if it's important to you, you will get it done. So, yeah, dude, like, thank you for that. And obviously, you're only a little over a month into the program. We got a long ways to go, but it's been really fun, seeing the progress you made. So, thank you for that, dude.
Of course, thank you.
Absolutely.